Hello Sagittarius friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Sagittarius August 2022 Astrology Must-Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com to see all the free goodies I make for you each month so you can align with the starry possibilities. And I'm so excited to announce my launch of my new special content private membership site. I've had lots of requests for extra content on certain topics. And finally now I am making the time to create that, so you can go to Annie B Astrology, Annie, the letter B, astrology.com, or it will be in the link below the video or podcast, just to check that out and to join all the fun that's going to happen in there, including going deeper into your natal chart. And of course, the current transits and things that are relevant now, more and more goodies from me. So now we're going to talk about the August profiles. This is for you if Sagittarius is your sun sign, like me, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Sag placements that you have. This is going to be part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Sagittarius, also like me, so we'll say December 13th through the rest of the sign, or 23 degrees to the rest of the sign, then I highly recommend you additionally watch or listen to my Capricorn reports, because us late degree friends have a more complex read, which I've learned from being a late degree person myself. So Sag and Cap reports for the late degree friends will have pieces for you. All right, so now we can get into the goodies of August, and there are a lot of things to be excited about. You know that I always get very rowdy and very celebratory when we have planets moving through fire, because those make trines for us. So this is very, very exciting news. This started in July. Well, this got stronger in July. This is getting even stronger in August. And so we're going to get lots of kisses from the Leo placements. What is this going to do for us? This is going to bring inspiration. This is going to infuse us with the desire to and the mechanisms to have massive amounts of fun. And very likely that's going to include travel for a lot of people. Writing is lighting up like crazy. Publishing, education. If you're a teacher, creating content or launching a course, this is amazing. If you're a traditional teacher, opportunities along those lines. If you want to learn something, you are going to be highly ready to learn and to practice and to broaden your horizons. This is a month where your horizons will be seriously broadened. So that is very, very, very exciting news. You'll probably be thinking about traveling even if you're not. So it's possible that if you're not going anywhere at this time, you might be making plans for a later time. But definitely have your passport ready. And if you've been working on immigration things, this is also a time where you could see a lot of positive progress. And if you have to initiate something involving immigration, this is a fantastic month for that. International business, learning languages, everything Saggy is lit up like crazy at this time. Also lit up things with kids, children, your own or others, conception, creative projects, being out in front of people and people noticing you and being acknowledged, leadership, singing, dancing, anything that puts you, fashion, athleticism, anything that puts you where people are looking at you. This is going to be very lit up for you at this time and offer lots of, like I said before, inspiration. When Sagittarius are inspired, the world is perfect, right? We are happy, and usually it's involving helping other people or expressing ourselves in a way that we think will be supportive to others. Sagittarius are very, very focused on helping the greater good, helping people, and usually any form of expression that we have, if we're having a good time, Sagittarius are really, really, really hell-bent, we'll say, on not staying in our princess tower with our unicorn by ourselves, which means that if we've figured out how to have the things that we want to let other people know how to do it too, and we want to educate them on what they can do to find out the things that we found out and to benefit from the things that we know. So inspiration is going to be strong, expression is going to be strong, and opportunities to do the things that you love most are going to be strong all month long. This is the last month before we have our eclipse season brewing again, so definitely a must know. So we've got a little breather here in July and August. September is going to start the eclipse season, so September through the rest of the year will be a little bit intense with that Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle, and that will brew and get stronger in October and November, very intense. Lots of changes between us and our relationships, our stuff and other people's stuff. There's a trend that's been going on through this whole eclipse cycle, which, you know, has been going on all year, and prior to this started at the end of last year. So we've got a little breather in between those times of intensity. So again, something to celebrate. The next big must know is that we are in this last open period of personal planets being direct. This is a very important thing to note. June 19th through August 21st is our last window for the whole year of 2022, where Mercury, Mars, Venus, none of the personal planets will be retrograde, nor their shadow periods. And why we want to know about this is because when we're in a direct time, as we are June 19th through August 21st, the tides are rolling out. It's the time to set things far and wide. Also, you could be going far and wide. It's a time when anything that you want to be around for a long time, that wants to have a good launch, and you want to send something out to sea, the tides are going out, so you're not going to paddle against the tides. So this is a time for big projects, you know, big decisions, big moves, big agreements, big investments, big trips, big anything that need oomph. Anything that needs get up and go and ambition and fire, you need to take advantage of this month. Now, it is very important to note that as of July, Jupiter went into retrograde. Now, Jupiter is our ruler, and you will be feeling that, okay? Certain things that were moving forward for you at that time are going to slide back, and you're going to wonder what the heck is going on. But this can be very positive, because the time up until the end of July into August was probably very feverishly full of expression and very, very extra busyness. So you might actually welcome a little bit of this slowdown, but you will notice that things that were moving forward might stop. And then there's going to be a trend of this, right? Because Jupiter is going to start at the end of July, but we still have the personal planets direct for the first 3 weeks of August. But there's more subtle levels going on that I just want to point out, okay? But this could be a positive thing, because sometimes when we're inspired for an extended period of time, we get burnt out, right? Or we have so many ideas that we can't pick which ones to focus on. So this is a time when all of the things that you're doing or trying to do or excited about or working on might start to get streamlined. So Jupiter retrograde is going to start to streamline all of the things that you want to do and are doing down into some key things. So I think it can be very beneficial in that way. So all of that's going on. And you want to take advantage, because we're not going to have all the personal planets direct without any shadow period or anything like that until March of 2023. So spring for us in the Northern Hemisphere, fall for you all down under. There's going to be a very long stretch of, you know, this inward and backward and dealing with things as they come. And there are a lot of wonderful things about the retrogrades, and I will point all of those out through all the reports of the months that's relevant. But what's important to know for compare and contrast is that most of August, even with Jupiter being retrograde, is still very much the most oomph and ambition you're going to have for a while. So it's very important to get as much done as you can. If you have a creative project that has a deadline and you think, oh, I'm not going to do that much now, I can take care of it, you're probably going to get more lazy. And so you might want to get some of this stuff done while you have more oomph and get up and go before you start to have everything slide. Okay, slide back into inward and backward focus. So the next big must know is that we do have more salty compared to sweet aspects this month, but we still have a ton of sweet aspects, and we're going to talk about a couple. If you want a more detailed list of all of the sweet and salty aspects, the dates, what you can expect from them delivered into your inbox 1 month early, go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter, and you will be in the circuit to get that. But we will talk about some things here. Okay, so we already talked at length about the Leo energies, what that lights up for us. Let's also talk about a beautiful aspect in the days around August 18th, where Venus, the ruler of love and beauty and money and comfort and self-esteem, is in radiant, supportive Leo, right? Fellow fire sign, making the most beautiful aspect in all of astrology to our ruler Jupiter in Aries. So that is a very exciting time for good money news, for good romantic breakthroughs. If you're wanting to meet someone or progress in your current relationship, if you're wanting to heal something or, fix your psychology on a topic that's holding you back or pattern, this is an amazing time. Okay, so we'll say like August 14th through August 22nd, strongest close to 18th. We've got this beautiful fire trine sending extra special kisses to us fire signs, and everyone will feel that. But those of us who have planets close to 8 degrees, now if you don't know if you have any planets close to 8 degrees, that's one of the benefits that you get from either signing up for my newsletter or signing up at Annie B Astrology for my extra content service. You can actually run a birth chart, and when you do, you'll be able to see if you have any Sag planets next to 8 degrees, and you can use the information that I'm giving you more. But in any case, 8 degrees will also correspond to some of our Scorpitarius friends, those of you who are in the last couple of days of November. So we'll say everyone from around, let's see, the 8th, the 3rd, pretty much just say all of the November born through the first couple of days of December. The closer you are to the last couple of days in November for your birthday, or the closer between 3 and 13 degrees, or the closest to 8 degrees, the more you'll get an extra special kiss from Venus and Jupiter. Okay, so the next big must know is that we have another nice fire aspect with Venus and Leo again, making a super wonderful trine kiss with Chiron, and that is happening in the days around August 24th. So we'll say the 20th through the 28th, the closer to the 24th. So we've got a nice long stretch of potentials from fire trines, and that is very exciting because we had a bunch of those in July as well. And this time, those of us who have things close to 15 degrees, so 10 to 20 degrees, the closer to 15 degrees, the more of a kiss you'll get. So that's going to be like December 1st through 11th, and the closer to like the 5th or 6th, the more of a kiss you get from that particular aspect. Okay, so next big must know is that Mars is going into retrograde. We talked about this. We are going to actually do a deep dive into what to do in Mars direct to make the most of the energy this month, and what kind of things are better for Mars retrograde. But first I want to talk about what sign Mars is going retrograde in and some details for Sag. Okay, so Mars will be retrograde from 25 degrees back to 8 degrees in the sign of Gemini. So this, from the positive perspective, is an air sign which unites beautifully with our placement. Now, it is important to note that that is also in the sign opposing our sign, okay? So we are going to have some extra work, some extra, for better and worse, support and things to deal with from Mars, and anyone who has 8 degree through 25 degree Sag placements are going to get a triple opposition here. So that means that Mars will make an opposition as it moves through the first time, then when it goes retrograde, it will make the second opposition, and then when it goes direct, and then goes back up to 25 degrees, it will make the third opposition, okay? So if you are between 8 and 25 degrees or have a placement there, from the sun sign perspective, that's going to be the friends at the end of November through pretty much through like the 18th or so of December. Everybody there is going to get an opposition energy. So the positive aspect of that is you can really be getting on the same page with somebody. You can be collaborating with someone and working with them. You could be healing relationship issues. You can be, working with how you use your energy for yourself and within relationship. There's going to be something having to do with me versus we. And it's very possible that your partner or spouse or somebody in your life is going to need you, and it is going to wear on you like crazy. But you can relish in showing up for them. But it looks like some people in your life might have some things going on, and that is going to affect you. So it might be something personal, it might be with their family, but you are definitely going to be playing a support role for people in your life and have to slow down your personal, the way I see a very strong chance of this manifesting is some of the things that you want to do for yourself or you need to do for yourself. You're going to have to get more organized and structured to be able to manage everything, because showing up for yourself and your needs and showing up for the increased needs of people around you is going to be kind of challenging, but it could be very positive in the way that you could have a lot of business, like your business could be booming, and part of why you're showing up for people is because you're working, and or something like that. So it's like this energy that you're putting out to help other people, for money or for not, for personal, for professional, however it goes, is going to be in double time, for better or worse. Okay, so yeah, the challenges will be there, but you'll get a chance to step into your superhero self through this. You'll get a chance, like I said, to really streamline your efforts, check in with how you use your energy, because when, this is one of the beautiful things about pressure. And remember that we need pressure to be in form. The pressure it takes to push a baby out, right? Like into the world, that energy is the creation of form, the pressure it takes to form a diamond. These pressured planets or transits for manifestation, it's the essence of life. Pressure is needed to create life. So, it's exciting, and you can think about it that way. You're going to be birthing a lot, but this is like the labor part of it, and some of the manifestations might not be as clear. Now that being said, the retrogrades can actually bring in on the tides a bunch of beautiful flowers from past things you planted. So those are the benefits, and you might also be benefiting from someone else's help, and other people may be supporting you, and that could be another positive benefit. All right, so let's talk about Mars direct versus Mars retrograde, and what activities are best to align with each of those transits, so that you know how best to use August and how best to plan the rest of the time after then. Okay, so I'm recording this for you to help you better understand the Mars retrograde energies, to look at the dates that this full cycle will be relevant for, and to talk about the types of activities we want to align when Mars is direct versus when Mars is retrograde, and give you timelines for that, so that you have the notice now that you can try to align your actions with being in sync with Mars. That's what I try to focus on, is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, because when we go with the rhythms, it's much easier and much more enjoyable than if we try to push against them. So the more you know about how the rhythms work, the more you can align naturally with them. Okay, so Mars retrograde. Mars goes retrograde every 2.2 or so years, just to give you a little context. If you think back to around 2 years and 2 months ago, we were in a Mars retrograde cycle. And you can actually look up a Mars retrograde calendar of the past online and look at the times when Mars was in retrograde, just for your research, to try to understand the types of energies that you experienced. And I always highly recommend writing in a journal the types of things that come up, especially as I'm helping you get educated on what Mars represents. If you pay attention to the kind of things that come up in Mars retrograde in general, and for you personally, then you have your own private plan of how you're going to work with those energies, okay? So the pre-transit shadow period starts September 4th, okay? These shadow periods are very important to note, especially when we have planets that take longer. I mean, really, for any planet, the shadow period is relevant, but the longer the planet takes to do its, full orbit, the longer that pre and post shadow transit are going to be. So in these shadow periods, you start seeing a building of the types of retrograde things that we see, and the energies get stronger and stronger from the beginning of the shadow period, which is September 4th, through October 30th, which is when the actual retrograde is. But if you try to play the game, should I hurry up and do my launch or my big important thing, October 17th, because it's not quite retrograde, you're playing a dangerous game, because, you're in the shadow period, and the more you tune in, the more you'll see how these energies are present even before the actual retrograde occurs. So we're talking about September 4th through October 30th, a building of the retrograde energies, October 30th through January 18th, 2023 for the actual retrograde, and then a starting to lighten with every day we get past January 18th and move towards March 15th of 2023. you know, those energies are lightning and lightning, lightning every day. So, you know, if you have to do something and it's not quite March 15th, at least the energies are much stronger and better than, let's say, if you tried to do something, you know, with a Mars direct type of energy, you know, right after the retrograde ended. So we're talking about Mars going retrograde from 25 degrees of Gemini back to 8 degrees of Gemini. Okay, so now let's talk about, just focus on, well, I guess we'll just leave it there. That's fine. Okay, so through September 3rd, so that means all of August, okay, which is the month right before the energies really start to brew for retrograde, we're really focusing on this new forward movement, tide going out, anything that you want to go longer term, any major launch that you want to have a good, nice birth date. Remember, anytime you do something major, it's a birth date for that activity, and it will carry all the energies of that time. Anything that requires all the things that Mars rules, oomph, get up and go, you know, initiation, energy levels, ambition, initiative, follow through, any of these things. If you have a project that's going to require that type of energy, yours or other people, like you need other people to show up or to collaborate with on a project, you're not the only one that's going to be feeling the retrograde energies. They also will be. So if you're trying to initiate a project that needs other people to show up with their energy and ambition and follow through, then August, you know, up until August, so really, you know, June 19 through all of August is like this really nice open period for all of the personal planet retrogrades. But as far as Mars is going here, you know, anything up until through the end of August and the first couple of days of September, you're going to have a lot more energy for these types of things. Now, the aspect of Mars ruling metal also comes into play. So if you have to purchase anything made of metal, cars, devices, machinery of any kind, you know, major lawn mowing equipment, the direct time is a great time to get the best, you know, focus on anything with metal. And this also has to do with surgeries. Now, please hear me. Just because I'm saying try to, you know that there's more energy from the perspective of Mars transits supporting surgeries, whether they're voluntary or necessary, when you've got the direct time. If you're in the retrograde and you have to have a life-saving surgery, don't worry about it. You need that and you have to do it, you know, so don't hesitate to do something that the doctor says will be curative or that you need to prevent a bigger problem. But just, you know, just to kind of have a guideline. If you know you're going to need a surgery, you'll have better support for that from the Mars perspective, you know, through August, basically. And the same thing with haircuts, scissors, right? So if you need a new stylist or a new style, you'll have extra oomph for that through August and the first couple of days of September, tattoos, things like that, anything with the metal. If you have to put some legal, like instigate legal proceedings against someone, even if you feel like you were wronged, that still is, from the astrological standpoint, an act of aggression, which is ruled by Mars. And there's more oomph and support when Mars is direct if you have to initiate legal proceedings. Now, if you're just responding to something and it's out of your hands, you got to do whatever you got to do. But if you're the one initiating something, Mars direct has much more support there. Okay, so now when we go into Mars retrograde, and obviously I'll be talking about this more as we're actually in that time, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up so you're understanding the flow and you can kind of position your projects and your planning accordingly. So Mars retrogrades basically from September 4th through March 15th, September 4th, 2022 to March 15th, 2023, you know, and especially strong October 30th through January 18th. We're talking about going back to old things or just work as usual, you know, anything that you've been having to do, although you might be a little more lazy and you might be less ambitious, things as usual, editing, you know, light, low stakes projects, even if you want to do something new, but you're not attached to the outcome. And, you know, the biggest thing here is to not take on anything that requires a titanic commitment and follow through, because the odds are that you're going to get lazy or busy or unambitious. And so committing or over promising is a very big, warning here. But anything where you're just kind of working the backdrop, anything with reflections and self-development and therapy, individual, couple, family, is amazing. And along those lines, dealing with anger and resentment. A lot of times when people are chronically angry and resentful, even if you've done inner work, there could be something going on with your gallbladder and your liver. Now, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose anything. I'm just saying from the energetic standpoint, from doing thousands of live individual readings and doing horoscopes for a very long time and working with astrology medically for 20 years, I have seen when your liver and gallbladder are overburdened, a lot of times the way you are noticing that as a symptom is actually chronic anger and resentment. So if you've done inner work and you can't think of why you should be angry or resentful anymore, it's possible your gallbladder and liver need some work. And that those things may or may not show up on standard medical tests, okay? So you can do things to love your liver. Also, neurological things, Mars does additionally rule Aries, and also Mars is a co-ruler for Scorpio, so the sexual organs would be in here as well, or reproductive organs. All of those might have some things that are under the surface that need to be dealt with, either energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or physically. This energy of stepping out of a victim mentality is very important, because a lot of times people feel resentful because they feel like something is happening to them. So just kind of exploring this topic. The same thing with reckless behaviors. I don't know that reckless behaviors are really a great idea anytime overall, either through your voice, like saying something to someone, or your deeds. But it's especially, you have to be especially careful with your head and your physical body. Oops, sorry about that. And your physical body, in Mars retrograde, and old injuries might, or issues might come up to be dealt with. It's a fantastic time for rest and staycations and vacations, enjoying the fruits of past labor, clearing up unfinished business on any level, whether it's in your yard or whether it's in your relationship. All of these things are great for the retrograde. And I have even more resources. If you find my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, it's actually in all major booksellers on the shelves, or you can get it online or at independent bookstores. I have my no-go checklist of, how to make decisions in Mars retrograde and the questions to ask yourself, and plus a more detailed list of the direct versus retrograde energies. But I just wanted to give you a summary so that you can understand what kinds of things are good to do in August and before for your planning purposes, and what kind of things are good to table or sort of put in your planner for, the last months of the year, September through December, and a little bit into 2023. You can also search for Annie Botticelli Mars retrograde to find a video that I've made on the topic, another video, and also I have a blog on the topic of Mars retrograde, and I also have a blog on general retrograde advice. Okay, so if you're wanting to prepare or get more information, then you can use those resources as well. And of course, continue watching my monthly horoscopes, as I will guide you through the rest of this direct process, and then all of the time we're in retrograde. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month, and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video, click on that, and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs And you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumelife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.